What's up guys, Jason Dye back at you with another episode of Commentating My Own Races, except that this time it's not a race. This is just a regular session at a track day at Jennings GP. I am out here with UCF Night Riders. I am control riding for them. And as a control rider, our duties are to observe, police, and sometimes coach some of the other sessions like the intermediate and novice. I normally do intermediate since novice, I'll be honest, is a little too slow for me and actually messes me up with my sense of speed. And it actually makes me slower the more I do it. So advanced is kind of, like a compromise where, like I can still keep up a little bit of speed and I can still do my job, control riding, coaching, and policing the track, making sure people are being safe out there. But every once in a while, we'll get to go out and we get to play in advanced for those of us that are run advanced speeds. And that's basically what I'm doing in this session. Now, as we're heading out, it is important to note that, as we're coming out on pit out and getting onto the track, and you're going to see very soon that there's a blend line, or the dotted line right there. Now, you want to stay to the right of the line as much as you can. You don't want to dive right onto the race line because it's potentially dangerous, especially if someone's coming around that you didn't see before. But once you blend in, then you got to get on it, and this is a great place. Coming out of turn one is a great place to get on it because you're entering the fastest point of the track, so just go. Now, as I'm doing my out lap, I just want to go over a few things really quickly. This is more of an educational type of video to see, what my lines are and what I'm doing. Maybe it could help someone out that's going to Jennings that wants to get a little faster. But a few things about my bike setup. I'm running a 2008 R6. My gearing is a 15 front sprocket, 44 rear sprocket. It gives me a good a good blend of pickup, acceleration, and top speed. I don't get to really top out my bike running this configuration. And another thing is, I'm running, at least in this video, 23s. If you're not quite there, if you're running high 20s, 30s, take the points as best you can, but don't try to do everything exactly that we were doing it, because you got to build up to that level. But anyway, coming onto the front straight, I'm going to start describing my laps as we're going through. Across the start finish, I'm in fourth, going down to third for turn one, rolling off pretty much at where that 3 marker is, and turning in as late as I can at where that arrow is. Back on the gas, short shift in fourth, trying to stay on it through 2. You can't be full throttle on a 600 all the way. Some people might argue with that, and they might be right, but it's tough. All right, a downshift into fourth to take turn 3, 4, 5. A downshift into third, actually going through 5. Going through 6, I'm going to get back on the gas, let off, and then just tip it in. There's no brakes. Downshift to second for turn 8, between 7 and 8. And then between each of these small straights between turns, you want to accelerate as hard as you can. And then here, after 10, you want to accelerate even harder, even though you're leaned over. And then 11, you want to let off, kind of scrub a low speed, take square off 11 so you get a better drive out of 11. Stay on the throttle for turn 12. Down in the third for turn 13. And I'll go through these gearing changes that I'm making throughout this video. Back on the gas, stay on the gas, up in the fourth. Downshift in the third, tip in for turn 1. Back on the gas once I hook it. Try to clip that apex as soon as as close as I can. Back on the gas into fourth, short shift in fourth. Taking second. On it. Just keep it wide open. Up into fifth. And I'm just gonna ride fifth out. Downshift into fourth. Let this turn and the engine braking scrub off some speed. Downshift into third, going into turn 5. And then hard on the gas coming in out of 6. Try to hold it as long as possible. Then roll off, and I'm just gonna tip it in. I'm just gonna let the turn scrub out speed. Downshift in a second, going turn 8. Back on the gas, and then back off the gas to take turn 9. Back on the gas, then back off to take turn 10. And I'm gonna get back on the gas as soon as I can, as hard as I can, to a certain point, and then I'm gonna shut off. Try to square off turn 11. Back on the gas hard, full wide open throttle. Short shift in third, short shift in fourth. Take turn 12 wide open if you can. and then downshift into third. Again, no braking into turn 13. I have my finger maybe covering the brakes just in case I need to, but I barely ever touch it. Back on the gas coming through here. Alright, so that was just a basic explanation of like me going through the track. A few things to note. My lines, you know, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but my lines are pretty decent. They could be better. They could be closer to apexes. They could use more of the track. I'm already wide, like going pretty wide on that, and that's good. That's what you want. You want the speed to carry you out as wide as you can. Down, and then like turn 13, you downshift, and then I'm back on the gas a little to flip around. And for turns 3, 4, and 5, turns 3, you gotta take it like you might not make it. And in turn 4, you gotta pick up the bike. You gotta muscle the bike over for 4 and then back into 5. And then for turns, like after turn 7, it's down to the second because I needed the extra drive. Now I was able to achieve maybe 124s, you know, on 1545 gearing, just staying in third. And that was possible because the gearing is shorter, so I had a little more acceleration for those sections and that with that type of gearing. But, you know, 1545 didn't really work out for me, especially on the back straight between 2 and 3, because I needed to shift into 6 because I was running out of RPMs in 5th gear, so that wasn't any good. So 44, you know, the drive isn't nearly as good. I had to work on it a little bit, but overall, the less shifting you have to do, sort of the better. You know, you want to use all of your bike's power. That goes without saying. But if you're having to just mess with controls all the time, that's more concentration that's being taken away from your riding than needs to be. And I have to say, you know, like running this configuration and running the way I am has been faster than I had when I'm running the earlier gearing. So my best lap, it's just lap number 2, and that happened to be my best lap of the weekend. My best lap ever at Jennings recorded was a 122. Possibly I might have been able to do faster, maybe not, I'm not really sure. Another thing to note is I'm at a track day, I'm not at a race, so I don't have that race mentality going through this. I'm going fast, I want to go fast, and I feel like when I'm out there, I'm like, I'm gonna do this. But you know, to be honest, like without people battling and, you know, trying to catch up to the next guy, without that motivation, sometimes it's really hard to turn my fastest laps ever. I'm normally a second, sometimes 2 seconds faster in a race than I am during practice. And in practice, I feel like I'm going really hard. So that's another thing to note. Still good laps, you know, still a lot of, like, you can learn from my lines. And if you listen carefully, where I get back on the gas, where I let off, where I turn in, like the lines I take on the exits. And I have to say, exits are more important than entries and mid corner speed, because on the exit, you know, if someone has a bad exit and you have a good one, you're going to be able to set up to pass in the next turn if the straight, you know, if the section between where you exit and go into the next turn is long enough. Back on the gas. All right. And then, yeah, like turn 3 is one of those turns that if you haven't been taking it as fast as you possibly can, you know, it's one of those turns where, you know, for me, it was a oh wow moment, you know, like when someone told me, you just gotta go all the way and then just trust your bike. And it was scary. It was like an, excuse my French, oh shit moment, like the first time I took 3 as fast as I could. But after that, I was like, oh, I could do this every single time, and I've only gotten better at it. You know, it's anybody that's even faster than me watching this is probably like, you could even go harder into 3. And some of the really fast guys do go even harder into 3. But for me, you know, at my level, that's as fast as I could take it. I'm comfortable taking it. And especially at a track day, I'm not trying to bin it. So, you know, that is what it is. And I am pretty much done with this session. Yeah, like I said, towards the end of the day, really tired. Another thing that's keeping me from turning super fast lap times, and you know, even though I don't want to make excuses, is that I don't actually run new tires at Jennings for track days. I always run takeoff, so they're already a bit worn. And towards the end of the day, they're basically shot. You know, the left side of the tire is shot because Jennings is a left-handed track. The surface is super abrasive, so it wears tires even quicker than most other tracks. So yeah, my my lap times might be suffering a little bit because without that extra meat on the tires that would normally have at other tracks at races, I'm not able to drive nearly as hard as I normally can because the tire doesn't hook up as well, you know. So there's my explanation. There's my excuse, if you want to call it an excuse. And that pretty much does it for this video. This is a lot shorter because it was a short session. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. If you did, please let me know in the comments below. What did you take away from my video? I'd like to know. And also if you found this pretty helpful, because you know, I don't do like a ton of track days anymore. I do more races than track days, but you know, the track days that I do, if you guys want to see sessions from that, I'm more than happy to put those up and explain, commentate on those sessions as well. So yeah, if you like this video, if it helped you out in any way, hit that like button. If you're new or aren't subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. And with all that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.